Integrity Doctors, Carolyn Wright here, Team Manager for Integrity, and I am thrilled to be with you for yet another incredible winter live stream. In fact, I was so excited to join with you today because I love talking about new patients, but not just talking about new patients. I love making generating new patients simple and easy for our offices. And so today we are going to talk about one of the simplest and easiest ways that your offices generate new patients, and that is through the Living Well for Life. We are going to talk about how to successfully generate new patients from this one class in one visit. But before we do that, if you're not getting results from this class, it's really important that we start all the way back at the beginning. You see, this is a great and it's simple and it's easy to get new patients from, but we have to understand first the most important purpose behind playing this piece of this video in our offices, and it is the education that is contained inside the message of the video. You see, this video, this 7.5 minute video, provides crucial patient education information. So not only does it create new patient opportunities for us, but it gives the education that we need to not only get new patients, but to keep those new patients and to be able to move them through to wellness, to grow wellness, to hit the 80%. You see, patient education is the most important thing that our office does in helping people move through that process. And arguably, the Living Well for Life class is just one of those education pieces that our offices provide, but it is the most important piece because the bottom line regarding this class is that this establishes the chiropractic adjustment as the foundation for your patient's wellness for the long term, for their entire life. So knowing this, it's easy to say this is the most powerful educational material that we have for you to share with your patients. So how does this 7.5 short, quick video that we play one time throughout our patient's treatment plan create that foundation that's establishing the chiropractic adjustment as the foundation for wellness? Well, let's take a look. So the first piece that this video really helps to emphasize is, again, it strengthens our patient's understanding of chiropractic. Okay. Secondly, it solidifies their commitment beyond pain because let's face it, a lot of times our new patients are calling our office and they're wanting to come in for pain relief. They don't know and they don't understand what wellness is. They just are looking for relief from pain. Okay, so tying these two together, it solidifies that commitment beyond whatever pain may have brought them in, and it strengthens their understanding of chiropractic. Okay, but thirdly, and we can tell you with years of data gathering, that our patients' retention to their treatment plan, their full treatment plan, is greater when they've obtained this information. So the cherry then on top, which we're going to dive in today, is because of this information, they're more likely to make a referral, okay? Now, I can also say with confidence that our favorite referral source in our offices is referrals. We love patient referrals. They're the best kind of patients we can get. And in fact, not only do those referrals become strong patients, but the patient that made the referral continues to be a strong patient. So outside of just creating the opportunity for the referral, this class is one of the most valuable things that you can offer your patients. Now, I'm going to add one snippet in here for you, and that is about our wellness patients. This class is oftentimes used about once a year for our wellness patients. And it's a good tool to know that it can be used in this capacity. Because again, going back to where we started, knowing it's one of the most important tools of education that we have, this can be a great time, maybe at visit 4 or 5 or 6 after they've moved into wellness, to reintroduce this video to them. Number one, you get another opportunity to get a referral, right? But even more than that, it reminds our patients of where they've came from. Again, it reemphasizes and continues to reemphasize and strengthen their understanding of chiropractic and solidify their commitment beyond pain. How many times do we have wellness patients that come in and they're like, oh, I've been feeling good. I don't know if this wellness is, So obviously outside of the 6-point office visits and the things that we always are doing, this can be a great resource to, again, just continue their commitment to chiropractic once they've moved into wellness. Maybe once a year, again, around visit 4, 5, or 6. Okay, so in this quick introductory here, we can see so easily the importance that this class has when it comes to educating our patients. Now, here's what I often hear next. So we go through the education, we say, yes, there's value. And then I get this big objection. Again, reminder, I'm a team manager, so I work with, hundreds of offices, and we talk about this. And one of the most common things that I'll hear is, but Carolyn, our patients don't like to watch videos. They don't want to watch another video. And here's my response. Well, team member Sally, do you know what? How do you know that they don't like to watch videos? When at this point, when at their Living Well for Life appointment, they've only seen one other resource, and that is the new patient welcome video. So there should be no grumbling or groaning at this point. They don't know what another video is. They don't know that there's too many videos that some of our offices may say. In fact, just for clarity, our recommendation is this video gets played at appointment 3, 4, or 5. So again, the only video they've had thus far is the welcome video. So that means that this objection of they don't like to watch videos really comes from you, the staff. It comes from either your perception of the class, or maybe you've had a few patients who have made some comments like that, and you've let that take over the experience and the view that you think every single patient has, whether it's intentional or not. The first thing we've got to be able to kick is this objection. We have to be excited. We have to know the value, because whatever your perception of this is what you are going to mirror into your patients. And I want to be real honest about something here. This class, we just talked about the importance of it. We talked about the value behind it. But here's something else you need to know. This class is part of their plan. This class is part of their solution in getting the lifelong results that they want and they deserve. And therefore, if you don't see the value, you are standing in their way from being able to achieve those results. So obviously I can just say, hey, yes, there's value here. I can highlight and pinpoint a couple of things. But here's what I also know from coaching this for years. It has oftentimes been a minute since you or a doctor or a staff, or maybe there's a new staff member, have even seen this class. And so you're in a sense kind of missing out on the value and the education that comes in this resource. And so to be refreshed on this, and I want you to be able to see exactly what we're talking about and how amazing this is and how beneficial it is and how important it is for our patients to gain this. I want to make sure that we all know exactly what we're talking about. And it's not just me asking for a referral. The education has to come first. So here's what we're going to do today next. Before we dive into getting the referral, which I promise you is coming next, we are going to quickly watch our Living Well for Life class together as a team, as integrity, as a whole. So I know with absolute certainty that every single one of you on our call today has the information, knows the message, and can see the value. So let's go ahead. We're going to hit play on that, and we'll come back here in a quick 7.5 minutes, and we'll talk about generating the referral.
Hello, my name is Brittany, and on behalf of our office, I'd like to thank you for joining this webinar on extending the quality years of your life. I want to give you the opportunity to learn the secrets to avoiding immobility past the age of 50 and allow you to take advantage of an incredible offer that you won't find anywhere else. Now, I already know what some of you are thinking. Do I really need to worry about the end years of my life right now? Well, I get that, but they'll be here before you know it. Let's take a look at the facts. In 1900, the average lifespan was 49 years old because we didn't have the kind of health care that we provide today. Fast forward to today, and the average lifespan is 82 years and growing. In a recent study by the United Nations Department of Social and Economic Affairs, studies found that by the year 2050, there will be more than 3.6 million people over the age of 100, and many will be living to 150. So what does that mean for you? It means the odds are so high that you and your family are going to live for 100 years. You need your long life to be made up of both quantity and quality of life. You don't want to spend literally 40 years or more of your life unable to move. Let's look at what happens to most of us after the age of 50. Long life reveals that we will have some major areas of health concerns if we don't do something before then to prevent those problems. What are those problems? There are many things that change, but one thing that commonly occurs are musculoskeletal issues, which impact your ability to move. You can see this every day as our world is now filled with canes, walkers, electric wheelchairs, stair lifts, walk-in bathtubs, and handicapped parking spaces. We are the first generation to witness the ramifications to mobility that long life creates. It reveals that we have done nothing to preserve and protect our musculoskeletal system and proves why spinal disorders are the #1 health problem for people over the age of 50. Here's how this problem starts. Your spine is built upon an advanced communication platform known as the central nervous system. The brain tells the organs and body parts what to do through the nerves. In other words, it's the body's phone line. Health problems occur when the communication is cut off or interfered with, just like we experience on a cell phone today with interference or a dropped call. The main thing, which prevents health and healing in our bodies, is nerve interference through misalignments of the spine, preventing proper communication between the brain and all parts of the body. These misalignments cause mobility restrictions and slows down body responses, stealing your quality of life away. Let's look at it another way. If your house was going to be broken into and somebody was going to steal all of your possessions, but you knew who was going to commit this crime and when, would you do something to stop it? Or would you just let it happen? Of course you would do something about it. Well, that's no different than your health. Spinal disorders are going to rob you of your functional capacities, steal your ability to move, and we know when it is going to happen. Think about this. If you lose your mobility at age 65 and live to 105, that is 40 years of immobility and pain. You can't let this happen to you. Need more proof? Take a look at this mobility scale. The numbers on the bottom of the scale represent your age. The numbers on the side of the scale represent the percentage of maximum mobility that you have. In other words, if we take a look at the graph, where you see the yellow line, you can see that you reach 100% mobility, or your maximum mobility, at about age 25. Now look at how that yellow line drops if we just let nature take its course. You can see here that you will lose about 50% of the mobility that you had when you were 25 at age 55. Now look at how the graph continues to drop. By the time we are 70, we have only about 25% of the mobility we had when we were 25. The good news is that this scale can be changed. What's the secret? With preventative care, we can make big improvements to the line on this scale. Take a look at the yellow line again, showing what happens when nature takes its natural course, and then look at this green line and how we can change these results with some preventative chiropractic care. On this green line, you can see where your mobility can actually be held at about 75% through the age of 80 years of age, based on normal wear and tear. Now I know what you're thinking. How can preventative chiropractic care do this? The secret is that chiropractic taps into the greatest healer we all have, which is our own body. The chiropractic adjustment removes the misalignments and nerve interference, allowing freedom of mobility, quick body responses, and healing communication to all parts of the body. Chiropractic is the foundation for true health and wellness. A lifetime of chiropractic wellness is where we change the mobility scale. That is what you want, isn't it? Even as I am talking, I know you may be saying to yourself, I knew it. I heard that chiropractors want you to come back for the rest of your life. Well, before you decide that is a bad thing, let me ask you a question. Does it make sense that you could have your nerve interference removed once and then that is good for life? Does anything work like that? Can you wash your car and it just stays that way? Can you clean your house and it just stays clean? Can you have one dental cleaning and never go back to the dentist? I wish it worked that way. But it doesn't, and neither does your health and wellness. Your health requires maintenance. And for the most effective results possible, chiropractic care is the answer. I think you can now see why it's so important for your friends and family to come in and be evaluated for a simple, easy, and affordable healthcare plan toward preventing a life of immobility. The good news is we can help everyone, and this isn't just something I'm trying to sell you. This is what our entire team does. I am a patient too, and so is my entire family. That's why I am so excited to be able to give you this limited time offer today. As I said, we want to put the future health of your friends and family first so that they can start living well for life. So to show you how serious we are about this, we will give them our complete first day services for free. That's right, for free. But this offer is only available to you right now, and you have to book them an appointment before you leave today to take advantage of this exclusive offer. If you don't know their schedule, don't worry. We can temporarily book them an appointment of your choosing, and they can call and reschedule for a more convenient time. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this webinar and plan on doing everything you need to do to live well for life. Thanks for your attention, and we look forward to treating you and your entire family.
All right. Oh, man, that video never gets old. Do you guys see the message? Do you see the importance? Okay. So we have to have that so we know the value. Because again, they're not making a referral just to make a referral. They've got to understand that message and they've got to see that value. We have to get them this education. We cannot waver on that, not one bit. Okay? So now that we've got them the education, now that we know the value, we see the value, I can feel confident that every single one of you here on our call today has seen this in winter of 2024. We are ready to put the cherry on top and talk about, okay, they've got the message, they've got the value, they see the importance. Now, how do I successfully generate that referral? So let's dive into this. All right. The first and foremost, you have to be excited about it. Ready? We're going back to what we just said. If we're not excited about it, we don't see the value, it is never going to work. So I would say if this is where you're stuck, if you feel like, hey, we are not getting results from this class, we are not getting referrals from this piece of education, you've got to go back and check your excitement level, your commitment level to being excited to generating that referral from this. Okay? Now, one other perspective I want to give to you is we are asking for a referral. A lot of times we say, hey, you get to make a referral and all of this. But here's the other thing I want you to think of. They're not just making a referral. We're not just asking for a referral. We are creating an opportunity for them to gift somebody the biggest and best blessing they could ever give anyone. And that is the chance to come in totally complimentary, which we don't do very often, and be a new patient in our office. All right. Now let's think back. How often do we offer complimentary new patient appointments? Not very often. Maybe at our holiday gift of health, maybe at 1 or 2 promotions throughout the year, but this isn't something that is readily available and accessible. So this is the time. They're starting their care. They're excited about their care. They're probably even getting some of results from their care, and they are excited to share that. So let's not let them miss out on giving the gift to somebody else that they know, friends, family, coworker, husband, wife, spouse, significant, whomever, and bring them in totally complimentary. So how do we start planting that seed. We're going to go all the way back to the beginning, and I'm going to show you all the different opportunities that you get to help create that excitement and create that opportunity for them to be thinking on who they want to share it with. So looking here at our screen, we've got the ROF visit, and I've got right here with me our ROF folder. And on the back, doctors, right, we fill out this very top spot. Step 1, it says education, and we are filling that out. So doctors, you can even start planting that seed as soon as you're telling them, their visit next Wednesday at their Living Well for Life appointment. Plant that seed, and hey, at that appointment, you get to share a new patient appointment, just like you came in on Tuesday with, and you get to share that with somebody totally complimentary. We can start planting that seed as soon as the ROF appointment. Okay, now staying with the ROF appointment, staff, okay? It's your turn. So we go through, we do the financial policy at this appointment, and then we do the advanced multiple scheduling. And I've got to put this plug in here, but it is their full treatment plan, not 1 or 2 visits, not just the first segment, but it is the full thing. Now, what typically happens in a lot of offices is you'll print that schedule out and you'll hand it to the patient at checkout, right? Here's that list of those appointments we discussed, okay, at their days and their times. Now, again, you could simply hand them that schedule, right? But we don't want to miss out on this opportunity in this moment to plant that seed again. Okay, so you've got that sheet of paper, it's printed out, you've got their appointments, and you're going ahead and you're giving it to them, and you say, and Sally, I just want to remind you, because it's one of my favorite appointments for our patients, that next Wednesday, right? And you're going to highlight it or circle it. Next Wednesday is that Living Well for Life appointment you and Dr. So-and-so talked about, and you get to share a new patient appointment totally complimentary at that appointment. So be thinking about who you want to share that with, so when we see you, we can grab that information. Simple, easy. You're already giving them the schedule. Why not plant that seed before that visit even comes about, that they get that opportunity? Okay, so now we're going to fast forward a visit or two. Okay, the visit before their Living Well for Life class. So they come in, they're going to do everything that you'd normally do, and we're at the checkout point. Okay, so again, Integrity's recommendation is visit 3, 4, or 5 for our Living Well for Life class. So whatever visit is before that, and we're checking the patient out and we're confirming their next appointment. All right, and Sally, we've got you down for Wednesday at 2:00. Oh, and Sally, I see that's your Living Well for Life appointment. Man, that's one of my favorites. I love being able to see our patients have that information. And as a quick reminder, when you come in on Wednesday, you're going to be able to share a new patient appointment with absolutely anyone, and it's totally complimentary. So come ready, share with us who you want to gift that to. You can plant that seed right there when you're confirming their next appointment. We already confirmed their next appointments. Again, plant that seed. Now, these both are really good spots because maybe we forget at the ROF, so we remember it here. Okay, maybe we forget here, but we remembered at the ROF. We're getting them excited and we're planting that seed. And when they look at that schedule and they see that it's highlighted, they know that that's a good reminder that they get to make that referral complimentary. All right, now we're going to fast forward to their Living Well for Life appointment, okay? So the day of the Living Well for Life. Now, you've oftentimes heard us talk about this called our 3-point ask. And this is because, again, if everybody is so excited about the information they're going to get and that they have this opportunity, it's going to make a difference. So the day of their Living Well for Life appointment is here. And I walk through the front door and I'm checking in at the front. It starts here, front desk team. Your excitement factor is crucial, okay? So we greet them, hey Sally, it's so great to see you, and man, I was so excited for your appointment today. I can't wait for you to get our Living Well for Life. It's one of the best appointments that you've got in our office, right? We can start that excitement right then and right there. So before you head on back and see Dr. So-and-so, I'm going to have you watch this quick short video. You're going to love it. It's going to emphasize the importance of, and then maybe say a little snippet. We just watched it, right? So just share a little bit about this video, okay? It's going to emphasize the importance of chiropractic and your care plan. And man, the best part, okay? And now you're saying the best part, at the very end, you get to share a new patient appointment like we've talked about, totally complimentary. Now, I want to share with you guys something that I find to work really, really well in this spot. So you can simply do that. So at the end, you get the opportunity to share who you know may benefit from chiropractic, okay? So you can plant that seed. But I'm going to give you, again, just a cherry on top you can do. Grab a little sheet of paper, quarter sheet. I like something bright colored, about like this. And what you'll just simply put on it is patient's name, so Carolyn Wright, referral's name, and referral's phone number. That's all you need. Now, here's what I love about a little sheet of paper this size. First off, everybody's got a phone, and it's small enough that it's going to fit in your hand, and they're going to carry it like this. But it's a little bit too large that you're probably not shoving it in your sweatshirt pocket, okay? So again, this is just a tool that you can use to help really emphasize getting referrals from this point. So when I do that introduction and I'm so excited and I say, hey, we've got this video, you're gonna love it, it's gonna, and say a little snippet on it. And then I'll say, but the best part is, you get to make a referral at the end, and they get to come in, and it's totally complimentary. So, Sally, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to give this right over to my patient. And I'm going to say, while you watch this, go ahead and put down who you thought of that would benefit from chiropractic care. Now, here's what's important. I didn't say if you think of somebody or if there's somebody you think. I said, I want you to put down who you thought of. This is giving an immediate call to action. Okay, so that makes a really big difference. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm giving this and I'm saying, hey, fill this out, right? And as humans, our brains are naturally inclined to do what we're told to do. So, hey, while you watch this, go ahead, fill this out with who you know would benefit from chiropractic care. Okay, so then they watch the video. Now let's fast forward. The video's done. They filled this out. Or even if they didn't, right? We'll talk about here what happens next. So that was point 1. Point 2. So typically now our doctor comes in for their adjustment. Here's what I love about the bright sheet. Okay, the doctor's going to see it, right? It's maybe they're holding it on their lap. They've got it on the back of their phone, whatever it might be. It's a good visual for our doctors to remember to make their ask, right? Now, let's back up here for a minute. The first purpose of this class was the education. So a lot of times, doctors, you're typically going in and you're saying, man, it was your living well for life. Oh, I love that video. I just love the part about ... And you might even pick out a few points that you want to make sure your patient got from watching that information, okay? And then after you've done that, and you can say, and I want to know, who are we referring today? Who are you sharing that complimentary new patient appointment with? And again, you're not saying, is there someone, or if you want to. You are using the assumption that they're excited and they know somebody that they've wanted to share this with. And so they filled that out, and you're going to find out that person's information. Now, in the case where maybe they didn't know of somebody, or they didn't put a name down, or they weren't prepared, whatever, well, now, doc, you can quick help them. Say, well, hey, think about, you work over at blah, blah, blah. You guys experienced, you might then even help them think about somebody before they head out today. Okay. And, or if they did have somebody, you talk about that person, we say, great. Now you make sure to give that to Sally over at the front desk, and we will help get them scheduled. Okay. Now, the very last point in our 3-point ask, so point 1 was CAs, you're planting that seed, and if you choose to use that little referral slip, you can give it to them. Point 2 was our doctors. When they come in, they're going to connect with the patient on it. And point 3 is now our CAs get to follow up. So you're headed out of the front, you're headed out of the office, you go to the front, and they say, oh, Sally, I was so excited to see you. I couldn't wait to hear about who you decided you wanted to share that with. We, again, are assuming they have somebody. We're expecting it. That is very, very important. Okay? They just got all this information. They're learning. They're just touching the tip of the iceberg on why they are so excited that they've come to your office and they've got connected and started up with chiropractic care, that, man, they're excited to share it with somebody else. And so now we can go ahead and we can grab that referral slip from them and help get that person scheduled. Okay? So you can see, very simple. Now here's where I want to back up a minute. A lot of times people are like, well, what if they don't know anybody? Okay, well, let's go back. That's really why we're starting with reminding them at that ROF visit and that visit before the Living Well for Life class, because if you know me, you know I love the saying, I can't eliminate objections, but I can limit them. So am I going to be able to fully eliminate somebody saying they don't know who or they didn't think of somebody? No, I absolutely cannot get rid of that 100%. But I can limit it by helping to ensure that my patients, when they're coming into the appointment, are prepared for that ask. And so again, that starts at that report of findings visit and that visit before the Living Well for Life class. And again, for your 3-point ask, which is CAs are planting the seed, that they'll be making that referral. Docs, you make the first ask. If you get somebody, do a good handoff to the CA, right? Give them that handoff. Hey, they're excited to get so-and-so scheduled. But if for some reason we forget, CAs, you are the 3rd point again in that ask, where you're then gathering and confirming who they did have. Okay? So to recap, the education behind this video is the most important piece of this class. It does not, if they don't get it, they're not going to make the referral. Okay? So they have to be able to see and hear this message. And then once they've got that information, they're excited. But we too, as the staff, we have to be excited that they got this information and now they get this opportunity. Okay? So if you're not excited about it, you don't believe in it, you don't like it, you are going to, whether intentionally or unintentionally, you will mirror that to your patients. So you've got to make sure today every single person on our team knows exactly the value and the benefits and the information contained in the message of this class. That is first and foremost the most important thing to being able to successfully generate referrals. So here would be our homework to wrap us up from this class today. Again, we watched this video today together as a group. It wouldn't hurt to go back and rewatch it again as a team at another time, but I would take turns, take a couple of minutes, and whether at the next break or in your next team meeting, and have everybody share in a sentence or two, what is the Living Well for Life class about? I want to make sure that you can verbalize in your own words the importance and the message that this class contains, because that is going to be the first key to success in successfully generating referrals. If you've got additional questions on this, please feel free to reach out to your coach or your team manager, and we would love to review it more with you. But I just want to thank you all for having me again for another incredible Winter 2024 live stream. Thank you.